Well, when you get your hair or your nails done, how do you know if the person holding the scissors or using dangerous chemicals is professionally trained and licensed?
Well, new at 6 o'clock, stunning claims of fraud and kickbacks inside the D.C. office that issues Cosmetology and Barber licenses. Here's 7 News on Your Side's I-Team reporter Scott Taylor with the exclusive investigation.
David Brunson has been a commercial airline pilot in D.C. for nearly 20 years, and he's had a lifelong interest in the health and beauty industry. So when a former member of the D.C. Cosmetology board asked him if he was interested in starting a beauty school, he jumped on it.
This was a dream for me.
The D.C. board member, Olivia French, who was appointed to the board by D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser. French used to own a beauty school called the French Institute. It hadn't been licensed to operate in D.C. since 2015. Brunson says French wanted him to open up a new beauty school at her old school's location. Brunson says he spent more than $100,000 on classroom renovations and equipment, but was floored when he learned how some students managed to get their licenses.
It was a pay to play.
Turns out Olivia French was selling cosmetology and barber license to unqualified students for thousands of dollars. She allegedly then kicked back some of that money to an official here at D.C.'s Department of Licensing and Consumer Protection. In D.C., you need 1,500 hours of classes and also pass an exam to legally obtain a cosmetology license. Brunson says French would give students a few hours of training, then fill out their applications listing the French Institute as the school they attended. Some students would even get their licenses without taking the required exam.
Well, she explained to me that she pretty much runs D.C. when it came to licensing.
Brunson says French got bogus licenses for dozens of students and says French got him 3 fake licenses: a cosmetology instructor license, an operator license, and a barber license. Brunson says he never paid any application fees or took any tests. In text sent to Brunson, French states that she could get anyone he trusts a license and bragged about how much money she made in a month. 7 News spoke with 2 former students who said they both paid French for their licenses. Both confirmed they never took required classes or exams.
Again, I said, why don't you just stop and let the school happen and stop picking students off before I can get started? And I said, you're going to go to jail.
Brunson says he wanted to open a legitimate school and charge tuition. He says French seemed more interested in using the school to continue her pay-to-play scam.
Being unlicensed and not knowing how to take care of certain situations can really be dangerous for everyone.
Julio Vejio has been in the cosmetology industry for 45 years and owns 7 Paul Mitchell beauty schools, including this one at Tyson's Corner Mall. Vejio says there's a good reason students need professional training.
There's use of chemicals, sharp equipment, sanitation, disinfection, how to handle certain situations when people may have allergic reactions. So understanding and knowing a good foundation of your craft is extremely important.
Hi, Olivia. 7 News caught up with Olivia French near her home in the district. She admitted her guilt in the pay-to-play scheme, but told us she wasn't alone. She said she gave money to a female accomplice in the DLCP to obtain bogus licenses.
So did she take some of that money that was given to you? So you guys kind of split the money?
I gave her some of the money.
Yeah, how much money we're talking about? Thousands of dollars for each person?
You're talking about thousands.
Did you take tests for them as well so they could get them?
Those that, some of them I took tests, some of them she just went in the computer and
just got the licenses?
The licenses off.
Which you now know was wrong to do, right?
Absolutely. And I'm guilty. Yeah, I'm ready to pay the price.
David Brunson never opened up any beauty school and says he didn't use the fake licenses. Tonight at 11, we tracked down the director of the D.C. department who has refused to sit down with 7 News and answer questions about her pay-to-play in her own department. Take a look.
What is your department trying to cover up, ma'am? If you won't sit down and talk to us.
There's nothing that we are covering up, but I
Then
will
why
have
haven't you been
contact
transparent and cooperative and sat down with us?
Excuse me 1 second. I'm actually reading
So you're not gonna let us know?
Sorry, we're actually having appointments.
Okay,
But like I
have a great
said,
day.
Charles will be contacting.
Okay, I'd love to sit down and talk to you. Hope we can do that this week.
Plus, at 11, you'll hear more of Olivia French's stunning confession. And I'm going to show you what D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser's office has to say about our investigation.
You would think this would be easy enough for them to sit down and discuss with you.
Yeah, we want them to be transparent. Just answer the questions.
All
You
right.
never get that opportunity where somebody says straight out, yep, that's what we've been doing.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Wow.
Scott, thank you. And I know a lot of folks wondering how they can find out if their salon is safe. We have all of that information on our website, WJLA.com.
We sure do.
Nice job, Scott. Thanks very much.
Claims of thousands of dollars in payoffs and kickbacks to a public official, all part of a long-running pay-to-play scam to award unqualified students fraudulent cosmetology and barber licenses in the district.
And on 7 News at 6 o'clock, our I-Team reporter Scott Taylor told you how it all went down, but that's only part of this unsettling story. Tonight, he's pushing past the stonewalling in some D.C. departments, including the mayor's office, to get to the very bottom of this outrageous con.
Hi, Olivia.
What she said to me is that you won't be successful without me. This won't happen without me.
David Brunson is talking about this woman, Olivia French, a one-time beauty school owner and former member of the D.C. Cosmetology Board, appointed to the board by D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
She's a seasoned manipulator. She's seasoned.
Brunson teamed up with French to start his own beauty school, but never opened it after learning she was fraudulently selling cosmetology and barber licenses to students for thousands of dollars. French would kick back some of that money to an official in D.C.'s Department of Licensing and Consumer Protection. Students got the licenses without taking required classes or passing written exams, and by submitting, they attended French's closed beauty school on their application.
And I'm guilty. Yeah, I'm ready to pay the price.
French admitted her involvement in the pay-to-play scam when the I-Team caught up with her near her home in the district. She said she paid a D.C. Department insider up to $500 an application for the past 4 years. How much money are we talking about? Thousands of dollars for each person?
You're talking about thousands.
Brunson, who's also a commercial airline pilot, says he tried to warn district officials multiple times about the scam and exchanged emails with a DLCP investigator. He says his messages fell on deaf ears.
There's been no results from anything.
That's when Brunson reached out to 7 News. The I-Team on multiple occasions tried to get D.C. officials' attention so the district could conduct its own investigation. Incredibly, nobody across the street at the DLCP was interested. They said they would not talk on camera, and they suggested we contact the Inspector General's office. But the IG's office, located right here behind me, didn't want to hear what we learned either. So they told us to call their hotline, which we did. By the way, it was having problems.
The wireless customer you are calling is not available. Please try again later.
We also sent multiple emails to D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser's office, which is located right across the street. We also called that office several times. 7 News alerted the mayor's office to potential fraud inside the DLCP. We never got any official response.
Do you want to know about fraudulent activity in your department?
So like, let's talk. Sorry, can you stop recording?
That's DLCP's interim director, Shirley Kwan Wei. She declined our interview requests, so we caught up to her as she was leaving her office.
What is your department trying to cover up, ma'am? If you won't
There's
sit down
nothing
and talk
that
to
we
us.
are covering up, but I
Then
will
why
have
haven't you
Charles
been
contact you.
transparent and cooperative and sat down with us?
Excuse me 1 second. I'm actually leaving.
So you're not gonna let us know?
Sorry, we're actually having appointments.
Okay,
But like I
have a great
said,
day.
Charles will be contacting.
Okay, I'd love to sit down and talk to you.
Olivia French did sit down with 7 News after our interview on the street. She says she needed the licensing scam to financially survive and is now exposing it all because she wants people to know about government corruption.
What would you say to people who earned these licenses, the right way and went to 1,500 hours of school and paid everything, took the test, and they find out that I could have just went to you and gotten one easily. What would you say to them?
Well, I would say to them that it's a sad commentary that this is what happens in the government. If you can pay, you can play.
Keep in mind, David Brunson never opened up any beauty school, not one. He's hired an attorney as considering suing the district. DLCP told us tonight there is now an active investigation, but won't tell us who's behind that investigation. Previously, we were contacted by the commission that gives professional schools in D.C. a license. It's launching its own investigation. For the I-Team, Scott Taylor, 7 News.
Admitting to the 7 News I-Team that she conspired with a city official to sell bogus beauty licenses to unqualified students for thousands of dollars.
The district says it's been investigating the pay-to-play scheme for months now, but our Scott Taylor found that just doesn't add up.
Do not follow me.
Why?
Please
this is
do
a
not.
public elevator. I can come into a public elevator.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, come on in, guys.
Thank you very much.
You can't push me.
Excuse me.
Can you tell me why you haven't been transparent for 3 months? Are you now going to do an investigation? That's Charles Basham. He's the communication manager for DC's Department of Licensing and Consumer Protection, and he's been ducking our questions about fraud and kickbacks inside the DLCP for months.
If you want to sit down and talk to us.
There's nothing that we are covering up, but I
Then
will
why
have
haven't you been
contact
transparent and cooperative and sat down with us?
That's Interim Director Shirley Kwan Way. She's refusing to sit down with us and answer questions.
This is what happens in the government. If you can pay, you can play.
It's a scam former DC Cosmetology board member Olivia French admitted she orchestrated for years, along with an official inside the DLCP. French says she used her closed beauty school, the French Institute, on applications for people willing to pay her $4,000 a pop for bogus cosmetology licenses.
And I'm guilty. Yeah, I'm ready to pay the price.
After our first story aired, Basham emailed the I-Team saying that an investigation had been going on since last July. That's odd, according to David Brunson, who blew the lid off of the scam.
There's been no results from anything.
Brunson said he tried to inform district officials about the scam last year after he began working with French to open a beauty school in 2020, but bailed when he learned French was selling bogus licenses. In May of 2022, Brunson's attorney sent this notice of claim letter to DC's Office of Risk Management, alerting the district to the scam and naming co-conspirators, including Olivia French. He threatened legal action or an $800,000 settlement. Brunson says his attorney never received a response to the claim letter. 2 months later, in July, Brunson got this email from a DC investigator asking to set up time to speak about Brunson's complaint. In August, the investigator emailed Brunson saying he is closing his investigation into Brunson's complaint, stating he was unable to gather additional information. Did you ever sit down with anybody from the district before our story aired or after our story aired?
No, I wanted to. No one would make themselves available. I was a complete blow-off. No one cared.
Olivia French also told us that no district officials ever contacted her before we got her confession on camera. So what in the world were DLCP officials over in that building investigating for the past 6 months?
I'm very concerned by what you uncovered in your investigation because it seems to indicate that there's some fraud going on. DC
Council member Brianne Nadeau is the chair of the Committee on Public Works and Operations.
So I play a really important role as chair of the committee because I can do oversight and bring people in and question them and ask them about what's going on.
The DLCP will have to answer questions in front of City Council next week. That should be really interesting. For the I-Team, Scott Taylor, 7 News.
If you want to watch the DLCP oversight hearing in front of the City Council, we posted a link to the virtual meeting on WJLA.com, and there you'll also find Scott's full investigation.